welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, as you can see by the title, we are going to be testing out the new Zoella x Colourpop collaboration. I'm so excited for this video. So I've actually purchased the whole collection off of the Colourpop website. This actually took a little while to arrive at my house because it is obviously coming from the US, and this collection is called the Brunch Date Collection. The whole packaging and the aesthetic is so cute, and I'm matching with it today with my top. This whole collection is like the cutest ever. I love the packaging, so I thought today I would go matchy with it. So in this video, I'm gonna test everything out. I'm gonna give you guys swatches, my honest opinion. I have purchased this with my own money. I have not been sent this, so yeah, I'm really excited to crack on with it. If you guys are brand new here, make sure you guys come and join the dinosaur family by subscribing down below, and also don't forget to hit the bell button to stay notified for every time I post a new video. But if you guys want to see me try out the brunch collection from Zoella x Colourpop, then let's get on into the video. Okay, so first things first, this probably took a week and a half to arrive. I actually paid $89 for this, and I think that actually turned out a lot cheaper than buying all the products individually. This is called like the PR sort of set on the website. I'll link it down below. So before we actually jump in and, you know, go through all the products, I actually quickly wanted to talk about the sort of like tea. I've seen quite a lot of outrage from viewers of Zoella about this whole collaboration. People are saying that it's very like plain, and that it's, you know, just another YouTuber collaboration and there's not really too much special about it, and I would have to actually disagree. I know how much time and effort goes into producing a product. It takes a long time to even get the packaging down to how exactly you want it. Obviously the product and the formulations, it's all a lot of work. I feel like she's done a good job at creating a product that she believes in and she would actually use herself, and of course in turn her audience will like as well, because I feel like a lot of you guys who watch Zoe and, you know, watch other YouTubers like me or anyone else for that matter, a lot of you guys are going to be more into natural looking makeup rather than your typical like James Charles artistry palette, which is totally okay. I feel like there's something for everyone out there in the beauty world, so if this collection is not for you, no one's forcing you to buy it. I thought I would just try it out for those of you who guys actually are wanting to purchase it and wanted to see if it's actually, you know, worth the money. So that's the tea on that. I want to know your thoughts as well in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this collaboration. Do you feel like she just slapped her name on a product, or do you think she's actually put a lot of effort into it, which is kind of how I feel? But we're gonna see together if this collaboration is worth the money. Is it good quality? I mean, from the looks of it, it looks amazing. I love the packaging. So I feel like you guys don't have to worry about me being biased in any way, because I have no affiliation with Colourpop or Zoe for that matter. So I'm literally just gonna try it and tell you guys how it is. So I'm cracking on into the bag. This packaging is adorable. I loved like the little juice and milk carton sort of shapes. It's so cute. So first up, I'm gonna talk you guys through everything that you get for $89. So of course you get the brunch date palette, which looks like this. It comes with 12 shades, and they are pretty much your typical neutrals shadows. They look like this. There is actually one pop of color in here which I'm actually quite intrigued by. It's like a really nice navy blue sort of color, which kind of makes me think of the palette that Kim Kardashian released with Mario. But yeah, these are all the shades that I would probably have in my own palette if I had one. Honestly, literally everything you would need for a neutral sort of day or night look is in this palette, so I feel like she's done a pretty good job at selecting the shadows for this one. Inside the set, you also get a blush and also a highlighter. The blush is called Soulmate and the highlighter is called Swipe Right. You then also get 3 different lip bundles which kind of look like little milk cartons, and I think the packaging is genius. You also then get the Supernova shadow bundle, which comes in like a cute little orange juice carton box. And lastly, you get 2 gel liners which look like this. I'm really excited for these. So I actually do feel like you get quite a bit of products for the price that you pay. You pay $89 for all of that stuff, which I think is actually pretty fair. I think it's sort of standard pricing to Colourpop anyway. They're not like super expensive, but they are kind of a little bit more on the high end side. So I'm gonna take the palette first, and yeah, I think the packaging is so cute. It's definitely very Zoe. I love the shadows inside. I'm gonna try and do something a little bit different than my usual looks. I usually go for like the same look for every day, but I'm gonna try and use as many of these shadows as possible. Okay, so I've zoomed you guys in a bit closer, first things first, please don't mind this literal volcano that's about to erupt on my face. So now it's a part of me, it's here to stay for however long, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. So first up, I'm gonna take the Brunch Date palette and I'm gonna reach for the Shadow Maple Syrup, which is usually what I do. I usually go for like this light brown sort of color and pop that through my crease. So I really like the fact that this palette actually has a mirror. I think that's an amazing thing for a palette to have because it's just so much more handy. So I'm just gonna pop that maple syrup shadow all through the crease as I usually would to kind of, you know, make sure that there's a base for all of these shadows to blend on into. And to make sure it's super, super diffused, I'm using a very light hand and kind of just using circular motions with a big fluffy brush to make sure it's nice and blended out. So this brown shadow actually kind of has like an orangey sort of tint to it, which I quite like. I think it really makes the whole look a lot more warm toned, which I feel like that's what the whole palette is kind of trying to do anyway. So I love using warm tones on blue eyes. Next up, I'm going to take the shadow called Mimosa, which is this one right here. And I'm actually going to take that on a big sort of flat brush. And I'm going to pack that all over the lid and kind of blend it out into the transition color. Ooh, this is really pigmented actually. It's kind of like a muted sort of orange color. I really, really like it. I kind of want to have fun with today's makeup look and just go for something a little bit more grungy, something I wouldn't usually wear, just to kind of really put it to the test. Obviously, we know you're gonna be able to do like natural and everyday sort of looks, but I want to see, can you do a glam look with this palette? So this shadow is actually really, really easy to blend out. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. It's not chalky and it's not going patchy, so that is the main thing about matte shadows. I'm actually really liking this one. Next up, I'm gonna take the shade Americano, which is this one right here. It's like a darker matte brown sort of color. I'm gonna take that on a smaller fluffy brush, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna buff that into the very outer corner and just create some depth and dimension to the eye look and also make it a lot more smoky. Gotta say, all the shadows so far are really easily blending out into each other, so I'm actually quite impressed with the mattes so far. I'm gonna go back in with the same shadow that we started off with, which is maple syrup, and just kind of use that to blend out any of the harsh edges around the outer corner of this look. All these shadows so far are so beautifully pigmented. So far, it's not got too much fallout. It's got a tiny bit on the outer corner here, but nothing that we can't fix. So pretty sure that there's not gonna be too much fallout with this palette, which is great. Okay, so I'm gonna go for a shimmery sort of shadow on the sort of center of the lid. I'm not really too sure which one to go for. There's a couple to choose from. There's Funday, Skinny Latte, Cinnamon Sugar, and also Extra Slice. I feel like those shadows would be really, really pretty to kind of use as a pop of color on the inner and sort of middle of the lid. I think I'm gonna go for, Skinny Latte, which is this one right here. It's the Love Heart, and I'm gonna take that on a little packing brush like this. And I'm literally just going to press that onto the very center of the lid for a nice pop of reflective color. And if you're a beginner, I feel like this is a nice way to use and incorporate shimmery shadows into your look without going overboard and just making it look really subtle and natural. Okay, not too much fallout. I was kind of expecting this shadow to be a tiny bit more pigmented, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's still really pretty and reflective, but I just wish it had that like kick to it. I'm gonna try and layer it with Funday, which is this sort of like pinky one. I'm hoping this one will be a little bit more like bam. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, this one's a little bit more shimmery, I would say. So I'm just gonna basically layer it over the previous shadow. You wanna make sure that the edges of the shimmer shadow are nicely diffused into the matte shadow as well. And I'm just gonna repeat the same thing to the other side. This is such a creamy eyeshadow. This is really pretty. I'm also gonna go back to the shade Mimosa, which is this one right here. And I'm just gonna pack that on a flat brush and just run that along my lower lash line just to kind of, you know, make the look a little bit more balanced and less top heavy. That looks so pretty. These shadows are not playing, you guys. They're like really, really pigmented. I think this is actually my first time trying Colourpop shadows as well, so I am very thoroughly impressed. And lastly, I'm gonna take this shadow right here, which is called Sunny Side Up. It's like a pinky, shimmery highlighter sort of color, and I'm just gonna take that on a little pencil brush and just pack that in the inner corner. I feel like the pinky tone of this should really match that pinky shimmer shadow on the lid, which I think will work really nicely. Again, again, this one's super pigmented and really nice and creamy, so not chalky at all. I actually really like this palette. I've got to say, I think there is definitely something for everyone. I haven't even like dug into half of these shades, to be honest. I really want to try this one at some point, but I honestly feel like the quality and the actual pigmentation of this palette is really nice. I was able to achieve this look really easily, and I feel like anyone could. So I'm gonna give this palette a big thumbs up. I actually really liked it. So now moving on to eyeliner, there are two different eyeliners in the Zoella X Colourpop range. There's a really nice black one, which kind of has like specks of gold sort of shimmer going through, which I think is really unusual and super pretty. And there's also the matte brown one, which I think is really nice for people who don't like to wear full-on black eyeliner. It can be a little bit heavy sometimes. These are super creamy. When I swatched them, I was like, whoa, what the heck? So I am really excited to try the black one on my eyes. When I first opened these, I was like, are these gonna be colorful eyeliners? Because it was like bright orange. So I was like, I don't know if I can make an orange eyeliner work. But then I opened the lid and I was like, okay, thank God it's just black and brown. So I'm gonna take the black one. I'm gonna try and do something very natural. I'm gonna just pop it on my sort of lash line and try and smoke it out. I've gotta say, I don't usually use kohl liners, so I feel like I'm not gonna go too overboard with it. I'm only gonna apply it to my top lash line and try and smoke it out as best as I can. I don't want to use black on the lower lash line because it can really close up the eye, but I feel like brown is definitely acceptable. Okay, now that my eyeliner is finished and it kind of smoked out, I'm actually going to clean up my under eye a little bit. So for this, I'm going to use the Born This Way multi-purpose concealer. This is like my go-to. I use this as a foundation, which I don't know if you're supposed to do, but I don't play by the rules. I mean, don't get me wrong, we didn't get a lot of fallout at all, but I just feel like I need to clean it up just a tad and make it nice and fresh again. I'm now also going to contour a little bit with the Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour Palette. This is, again, my go-to. I use this every day, and I'm just going to chisel out the cheekbones just a little bit, just to kind of add some dimension back into my face. So now I'm going to take this blusher right here from the Zoella X Colourpop collection. This is called Soulmate, and it is such a pretty pink color. I do have to say though, it is very light, so I have no clue if this would work for every sort of skin tone. I know it's going to work for me just because I am on the fair side, but if this was to be used by someone with a deeper skin tone, I've got to say I don't know how that would look, but I'm just going to try it and see how it looks on me. So I'm using the big brush from the Mean Girls collection from Spectrum, and I'm just going to buff that on to the apples of my cheeks. That is not really showing up as much as I thought it would, but at the same time, I guess you don't want your blush super pigmented, do you? But I actually really like it. I think it's very subtle, very natural looking, so I like it. I'm gonna try and layer it up just a little bit so we can really get that full pigment out of it. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that looks really nice and natural. It kind of looks like a nice neutral flush to the face. And then I'm gonna, of course, take the highlighter. This is called Swipe Right, and again, it is just one shade for the whole collection, so I don't really know if this would work for everyone, especially with people of deeper skin tones. But again, I feel like it will work for me, or it should, because I use a lot of highlighters that are this sort of lightness. I'm just gonna swirl my brush in there and then just apply that to the usual spots, like the top of my cheekbone. I've gotta say, I did not expect that to be pink. Like, do you guys see that? It's not really showing up very much, but it's literally pink, which I think is really weird because in the pan, it's like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the Candle Lit highlighter from Too Faced. It's literally the exact same shade pretty much. So I definitely thought it would be a little bit more golden, but it's literally coming out pink on my skin. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera. I've got to say it's a very subtle, not exactly blinding or in-your-face highlighter, which is definitely something I usually wear, but it's still, you know, pretty. It's not like ugly, but at the same time, I don't usually wear pink highlighters, and judging by the pan, you would think that the highlighter would be a little bit more golden. I kind of don't understand why they would do that and make a pink highlighter. It's not like a pink highlighter is even gonna suit that many skin tones, so I'm kind of confused by this. I've got to say, everything up to this point I've actually quite liked, but this highlighter is like a no-no for me. Also, I've just realized I never actually applied mascara to my eyes, so be right back, I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so then we have another two eyeshadow products, which I actually don't think I'll be able to actually put on my face in this video. However, I'll show you guys the swatches. So in this little shadow bundle, you get two different sort of like metallic liquid shadows. And I've got to say, when I first pulled them out, I sort of thought that they made a mistake and put two of the same shadows into the bundle, but then when I swatched it, they do have a very small difference between the two shades. One is a little bit more shimmery and like glittery and kind of lighter, and then the other one is a little bit more metallic and a little bit darker. I think they're really pretty and applied really nicely on the swatch, but I don't think I have any space in this video to actually apply this to my eyes. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the lips. I'm gonna use one of these amazing lip kits. I just love the packaging so much. So the first lip kit is called Little One. It's got this really nice neutral sort of color, and then also the lip pencil to go with it. They are matching, so this is probably like the usual sort of color that I wear on my lips every day. The second lipstick is called At Me, and then the pencil is called Oh Snap. So this is the color. I actually really like this color again. It's got a little bit more of a mauvey pink sort of undertone to it. And then the last lip kit is a red one. This is in the shade Self Love Club, and then the lip pencil is called Bossy, and I love this sort of red. It's like a true red. This is the kind of red that makes your teeth look really, really white because it's kind of got like a blue undertone to it. So I love a red like this. So because my eyes are quite heavy today and quite dark, I'm gonna go for the neutral lip color, which is in the shade Little One. So first up, I'm just gonna take the lip pencil and just line my lips with this. Okay, the lip liner is really, really creamy and really soft. Now, I don't know if this is true, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I used to hear that Kylie Jenner's lip kits were made in the same sort of factory as Colourpop. I don't know if that's just a rumor or if it's actual fact, but I feel like there are definitely some similarities between the two brands. So yeah, if you like Kylie Jenner's lip kits, I think you definitely like the quality of these lip liners and also the lipsticks from Colourpop. And then now that my lips are lined, I'm gonna go in with the lipstick. I love this color so much. It's such a pretty shade. So that is the finished look. I am obsessed with how everything sort of turned out, apart from the highlighter, of course. I've got to say, I really don't like the pink highlighter. I don't think it really does anything for me. You guys know me, I love my highlighter. I love it to be blinding and really shimmery, but obviously finely milled at the same time. And I just feel like this pink highlighter, it has a nice sheen to it, but I don't think it would suit very many skin tones. So all in all, for my final verdict of the whole collaboration, I actually am really impressed with most of the products. I feel like my look turned out really nice. I found the products really easy to use. They blended out well. They didn't have too much fallout. I think everything is pretty much in check, just apart from that highlighter. I'm not really happy with it, but that is just down to preference. I'm sure there would be so many other people out there who love a more subtle highlighter, but I just think they could have done a little bit better, made it a little bit more, you know, pop in. And also with the fact that they've only made one shade, I feel like they could have made it a shade that was a little bit more versatile for everyone rather than like pink. But apart from that, I'm really, really impressed with everything else. If you guys wanted to get your hands on the whole collection, I will have a link down below. I don't really understand why Zoe's getting so much backlash. I do think that the whole collection is, you know, well thought out. I feel like the products, especially the palette, is pretty much usable for any lover of makeup. Like, I think it's a very nice and natural sort of palette. So overall, I think I am gonna give it the Roxxsaurus thumbs up. I'm gonna give it my approval. I really enjoyed using these products and I just love the packaging so much. But let me know what you guys think. Do you like my overall finished look? Have you guys tried the products for yourself? Let me know in the comments below. But that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to see more makeup tutorials, then let me know in the comments below what you would like to see. But yeah, that's all from me. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Mwah.